Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, all viewers, for joining me today with this special edition reading I'm doing for you guys using a completely different deck called the Deviant Moon. I'm actually really excited about using this deck. It's my first time using it properly in the sense of actually using a spread to go with it, and it's the first time that I'm using it to read for someone other than myself, whereby the first reading was actually, I used the deck for the purposes of inquiring it about itself. I was trying to get to know the deck, trying to familiarize myself with all of these beautiful cards. So, you guys, it's a full moon in Cancer, and it's a very deviant full moon, which is what makes the use of this deck extremely appropriate right now. I will also be honest though that I'm a little bit anxious about this reading because the energies are really heavy. It took me forever to get where I've gotten so far. As in, meditating was not easy. I was quite distracted. Despite not having any noise around me, I was unable to receive any, channeled messages per se. It took me a while to get to a point where I was comfortable to start laying out the cards, but I got there. In fact, I was just shuffling for quite a while, and then two cards popped out, and those were the first two that were drawn from the deck. And I laid out the rest of the cards, which seemed to make a lot of sense based on the astrological chart of today's full moon in Cancer, which is pretty insane. Okay. Another thing, I'm not sure if my laptop is very stable in this position. That's another reason why I'm pretty anxious about the layout I've organized today. But I wanted to give you guys the chance to also see the cards and see what I see, because they are absolutely stunning. And by the way, yes, okay, not to waste your time any further, this is going to be a reading for all signs, which you probably know by now because I will title it as such. This will be a reading for all signs. I will timestamp. However, this portion of the reading applies to all. And I have the intention of, I say this because things can change midway through the reading, but I have the intention of drawing one card for each sign around this circle here. We have 10 cards now. I will be drawing 12 cards, one for each zodiac sign, which I know, doesn't coincide with the 10 cards here. But I will be pairing up the first 10 cards with the cards that are laid out here. And I will be drawing an additional 2 cards for the last 2 signs of the zodiac, which are Aquarius and Pisces. So I'm sorry, Aquarius, Pisces, if I'm treating you differently. I don't mean to do this, but it's just that I'm following a very specific layout right now, and I'm trying to respect the author's distribution of cards. It's the same author of this deck who has come up with this spread over here, and I'm just going to have to work with it to make it fit for all 12 signs. Another thing is, yes, I did contemplate having 12 separate videos, one for each sign dedicated for the full moon, but then again I thought to myself, that is just going to complicate things. Why? Because, oh my God, if any of you have taken a look at the chart, which I'm sure there are a lot of astrology enthusiasts watching this, it is not an easy chart to interpret in any way, shape or form, and I am still a novice when it comes to astrology. Tarot reading is one thing, astrology is another thing. Combining the two, whole nother level. but I will try my best, you guys. I will try my best. So I'm gonna get into the reading as best as I can. These cards, like I said, are still very new to me, so the images are still very striking to me. They're also, yes, a little bit scary, but I love that. I love that about this deck. It really hits home, subconsciously speaking. It's a very surprising deck. It's also quite extreme when it comes to its findings, if I can put it that way. So the first card is the Seven of Cups here. See how beautiful this deck is? Wow, I wish I had a better camera. But, so the Seven of Cups is a card that talks about illusions in the original Rider-Waite, but this deck has different interpretations for some of the cards, and some of the interpretations may surprise a few of you, but as usual, I'm going with my gut as well, while honoring the original meaning of the cards. The Seven of Cups in this case is talking about our collective consciousness, because this is, again, the central reading applies for all, is talking about our collective consciousness, that we are at this time very susceptible and prone to a lot of imaginative thinking and daydreaming that might be going past our world, where you might be sitting there telling yourself, you know, gosh, I want to be the next Monet, but I also want to be the next Jennifer Aniston, but I also want to have like a multi-billion-dollar running corporation, and I also want to have sushi for lunch. No, but I think I want to have pizza. Oh, wait, do you want to go to the movies? It's that kind of feeling, you know, with this Seven of Cups, where you're really all over the place. Why? Because a part of us all feel like we really need to start taking control of our lives. That some portions of our lives have, let's say, we've lost ourselves when it comes to our ambitions, and now we're receiving a lot of divine guidance and a push to basically assess these areas of our lives that we've put on hold for a very long time now. It's time for us to really make a decision about which direction we want to follow. But unfortunately, because we are in this Seven of Cups state right now, we want a lot of things to happen. Our imaginations are so active right now that we can see ourselves doing all sorts of things. You can see yourself being an artist as well as an entrepreneur, as well as about the next big thing, and an athlete, and so on and so forth. And that can be really overwhelming. And you know, we're humans, we're not superhuman, and unfortunately we can't take on all these things professionally. We have to choose. So that's the current status right now as we stand for a lot of us, because maybe not all of us not all of us have the luxury of time to sit there and reflect on what it is that we want to be, especially for those of you who are viewing, who are older, who have already settled, who need to be more responsible, who have children who are acting like this, and they feel like they need to kind of hone in on their children's desires right now. Some kids might be deciding, you know, what they want to do when they grow up, like what major they want to pick in university, or what are you going to write your thesis on, and etc. What extracurriculars are best suited for everyone. Those are for the parents and people with children who are watching, single moms included, single dads included. It can get quite crazy right now. The second card we have here is the Eight of Cups, in the position of the past, in the sense that this is again acting as sort of, it's acting as like as a bit of a foundation for the rest of the reading. If it were not for this card, we would not be doing what it is that we are doing now. And so our actions right now have a lot to do with the things that we have abandoned, but we have abandoned these things willingly. They are not necessarily situations that we didn't ask to leave. We were quite satisfied to leave behind certain emotional situations that were impacting us in an adverse manner, where we invited those things to leave, and when they did not leave, be it people, be it situations or circumstances, we decided to abandon these things altogether. Even some of you may have decided to up and leave overnight a home that you built with a partner. Some of you may have decided to leave careers that you spent 10 years building. Some of you may have decided to shift focus when it comes to studying one field, going from one field to the next. And you did so because you were simply too sick of the situation, or you felt like you could no longer advance. Some of you felt like you had already achieved a cap on how much potential you have and thought to yourselves, it's time to let go. This is, again, a collective reading. This reading is going to be different for every person, so take what applies and leave the rest. Whatever it was that you left behind that was quite impactful in the past, that is playing a role in triggering you to think about what it is that you want right now, which can be a lot of things. That is the important part of the past that you need to pay attention to right now. Full moons always drive us towards a culmination. With full moons, we reach a precipice. We reach the maximum. We cap something. And after the full moon, that is when we are able to release what no longer serves us from previous months, from previous situations. So think of that one situation or two or three that are so major that would trigger you to act a bit crazy. And I'm saying this because this moon, and look, I've turned red, and anyone who knows me in person knows that this happens to me when I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure. This full moon can really influence us to make decisions a bit too hastily. And the consequences will be big. And they will not necessarily be big on an emotional front. This time, they may as well affect your finances immediately, your physical possessions immediately, where you're just like, fuck it. Look at this card. This person doesn't care, and they've flung a cup over the edge. They don't care. Okay. I'm sorry, by the way, for those who don't appreciate cursing. I find it hard sometimes to hold myself back from these things, but I will try to maintain an appropriate decorum. Okay. Your next card is this Five of Wands here. That is talking about, this card is talking about the subconscious influence that is happening in this reading right now, that is triggering also events to follow. And so this subconscious influence is of course linked to this past situation that we've decided to let go of, whatever it may be. The Five of Wands is talking about conflicting opinions, conflicting perceptions, conflicting people that you are around or perhaps no longer around, if they are linked with this Eight of Cups here. That has led to this state. So the Five of Wands is suggesting to me that you got to a point in your respective situations where you were no longer to deal with the differing opinions that everyone had around you. That too much confrontation was occurring as a result of this, and it was confrontation you were no longer willing to put up with. Some of us are just too old for that. Some of us just, I mean, even I feel like I'm too old for that. The moment I start to sense that there's drama on the horizon, I'm like, I'm gone. I'm gone. Like, I'm there 1 second, I'm gone the next. So for some of you, especially those who are not fire signs, you're not cool with it, and you're just like, I'm leaving. I don't care if we don't agree. Okay, let's just agree to disagree. Bye. I'm out. Right now, there is this general feeling of intolerance towards people who don't share our values and our belief systems. The way that the planets have kind of like organized and arranged themselves right now is decreasing Jupiter's beautiful influence in Libra. Like, Jupiter is in Libra right now, which is actually a very good thing, right? Usually. But not much is happening with Jupiter today. Like, and probably, I'm not an expert astrologer, but this influence might, go on for the next 2 days or so. But like today, Jupiter is taking a small break. Where it's just like, I'm going to observe. I'm not going to expand myself today. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm taking a break. You have fun. So it's allowing a lot of chaos to happen. And not just Jupiter, but there are multiple planets influencing the situation. Naturally, what we really want, is justice as a result of this, which is kind of ironic because we're like, hello, Jupiter, you happen to be in Libra sign, and Libra is justice, and can you help us out a little bit, please? Please? Again, though, you cannot expect on this particular day to have things fall in your favor. And that will trigger a few of us to have some pretty damned dastardly thoughts where we're just like, oh boy, I could really kill this person. I could really kill this person in front of me right now who's wasting my time. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they have the audacity to say whatever it is they said, do whatever it is that they did. We simply don't have this patience today to deal with anyone. And this justice card is not a very kind justice card. It's not, of course, it still represents justice. However, in the traditional Rider-Waite, we talk more about a fair and balanced justice where we try to achieve this good balance righteously. But with this justice and this Deviant Moon Tarot, we achieve justice by any means. Yeah, let your mind wander. Any means whatsoever. So you might be thinking all of a sudden about someone who really, really irked you in the past, someone who really got on your nerves or under your skin, and you didn't necessarily take any action because you're probably a very good-natured person where you're just like, I'm a good person, I mean no harm, like even if this person's hurt me, I'm gonna be the bigger person and I'm just gonna let it slide because we're mature enough to do that. Now though, you can be thinking about certain people who've hurt you or manipulated you, and you're seeking your revenge, even if you're doing it on an unconscious level. Some people are not going to think twice. They're just going to go out there and they're just going to, I don't want to say, because I don't know, but this little justice card here might be pushing the demon in us, basically. Okay, next we have this Page of Swords here that is talking about hidden forces. Hidden forces, not necessarily spiritual forces, that has its own card, but hidden forces, Page of Swords here. Tricks up your sleeve, basically. but things that are not necessarily well planned or thought of for a very long time. Again, you might be thinking to yourself that now is a good time to just, I don't know, seek your revenge. Or now's a good time to buy that house. Or now's a good time to buy that car. No, it's not. No, it's not. Back away. Now's not a good time to make any major decisions whatsoever. Even if you have this feeling of confidence, this boost of certainty where you're like, yes, I want this. I just know I do. I know it's right for me. No, it's not. Again, bear in mind the influence of this Seven of Cups here. Feel free to relate back to the original meaning of this card in the Rider-Waite that warns us of illusions and, you know, not necessarily being able to see the gems or the diamond in the rough, because there's so much going on that we're a bit absorbed, a bit too absorbed with our egos as well at this time. This Page of Swords, you know, is a very intuitive person who does know how to get what they want. In this deck, they're very good at what they do, even though they are a young force. They are a young force that are not necessarily recognized for their talents because they are competing and up against other people who are a lot more experienced. However, the Page of Swords is also fearless in the sense that they're just going to go out there, they're going to seek their dreams, and they're not going to let anyone stop them. They feel no need to let anyone stop them. So, but you know, on an ordinary day, I would say do this. But today, you might not want to take this risk. So that is the hidden influence, this confidence that you have what it takes. You probably do have what it takes, but it's just it's best to lay low. It's best to lay low with this full moon. We have here a more future card, events that are yet to come, with this Four of Pentacles now. Again, I caution you not to make any decisions that are going to impact you in an you might not be thinking it's going to be adverse or have an adverse effect, but I'm saying right now is not the right time to spend all your money on whatever it is you think that you need. You'll end up disappointed. And I know maybe a few of you are thinking, but we just went through Mercury retrograde. For God's sake, we were told not to purchase any electronics. We were asked not to sign any contracts and like basically hold off important decisions. Mercury is no longer retrograde. Can you please give us a break? Well, I'm sorry. But it's not the best time still, even with this. With this full moon, I don't care if Mercury's gone direct. I'm personally going to be hiding under my blanket. I haven't left the house today. Actually, I did, and then I promptly came back home because work just simply didn't work out. There are many things today that just will not work out, especially like I want to talk about the seventh house, which has quite a bit well, I mean, it doesn't have so much going on, but today I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if things that, you know, taking care of your the daily grind, things that you have to do on a daily basis, don't go as smoothly as you want them to. Like things as simple as going to work. You go to work and a colleague you needed to work with isn't there. Or you go to work and your boss isn't there. You go to work and your office is locked and you're just like, well, hello, why is my office locked? Strange things can happen. You're feeling a little bit under the weather, you're distracted while you drive, you just all sorts of things. It's a good idea to pay attention. I really wish that I had published this video earlier before the full moon, but I spent I wanted to make sure that this was something that I wanted to deliver to you guys, and it took me the last 48 hours to decide that I was going to go through with it. But in some regions of the world, it's still early. So I hope this gets to you in time. With this Four of Pentacles, it's a time where we feel a bit greedy and selfish, and we want to cling on to our material possessions a lot more than usual, where we might not be open to sharing our money, sharing our possessions, lending our cars, lending anything really, where maybe on a typical day you're usually a very generous person. Someone comes up to you and says, hey, can I borrow this book? And you're like, yeah, sure, take it. No problem. Today you're like, no. No. But the thing is about this Four of Pentacles, though, is it's cautioning us that we might end up losing certain possessions or losing bets, I'm also inclined to say, during this time, where you make a bet with a friend and you're almost certain with this confidence that you have the upper hand, you're going to win. You're not. You're probably going to lose. Now, a few of you might be thinking, well, how is it that we're all going to lose? Like, if I lose the bet, that means that my friend wins the bet. That means that my friend is the luckier one in the situation. Again, this is not going to be the case for everyone. However, it is more likely to happen that we end up making bad decisions than decisions, that are going to help us in the long haul. So if it's a small bet, if it's a friendly poker game, fine. But if we're talking like, I bet you my housemate, let's not do that. So, just be a bit more cautious with your items at the moment. Don't cling on, don't be greedy, don't hold on to things, don't rely too much on your material possessions. Now is actually a very good time to go within, to be a bit more spiritual, be a bit closer to your God or whatever deity you follow. Spend some time on your own, which may inadvertently piss off your mates. And I get this, and there's a lot of suggestion that quarrels and fights are possible right now, and the assessment of marriages in particular, partnerships, contractual partnerships, whether it's in the business place or in the home, reassessment of all these things are going to come up. Your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whom you share assets with, might come up to you and say, why aren't you paying attention to me? You used to pay so much attention to me. We used to have movie nights on Thursdays, and now I hardly ever see you, kind of arguments. It's okay. Now is the time to self-reflect. Use this time to your advantage. Don't focus too much on your partner, but don't neglect them either. So, and that goes both ways. If you are feeling neglected, don't take it personally. Your partner is most likely just thinking about things, not necessarily about the relationship, just thinking about life and surreal activities. Strange thoughts may come to you right now. Ideas that you don't even know where this idea came from can come to you right now, where you're like, oh, that's a good idea. All of a sudden, oh, why didn't I think of this before? Epiphanies can come right now. But now is not the right time to act on them. Wait a couple of days. I mean, the 14th and the 15th perhaps are better days to act on these whimsical ideas that come to you. Just not now. Now the problem is that we are, there's a bit of a paradoxical feeling between wanting to cling on really tightly to our possessions and wanting to just let go of them. So you have to be a little bit worried about people acting reckless around you in your environment, people that you work with, or partners that have a say as well, have a say over your assets, your financial situation, your children. It takes two to tango. Decisions that you usually make with your partner, it's actually really important that you are on the same page and you see eye to eye. So if you sense a fight about to happen, try not to let it get out of hand. Sit down with your partner, assess the situation, get to the root of things, try to understand where this feisty energy is coming from. If it has something to do with your finances, make sure that the decisions you take are decisions you take together, because right now someone in your environment, be it a colleague, business partner, boss, someone responsible who shares things with you, is more prone to accidentally no one ever does this on purpose, to accidentally just throw something away, like an important document, and as drastic as your life savings, I'm sorry to say, where you're just like, yeah, well, I don't really know. Oops, honey, I pressed the wrong button and I've transferred all our money somewhere. I don't know where it's gone. It doesn't have to be that bad. I'm using extreme examples right now. But the idea is that right now we're also subject to feeling discontent in our lives and not recognizing the value of things and how worthwhile things are. Like, if you are privileged enough that you are able to watch this video using a phone, an iPad, or a laptop, or a desktop of sorts, then just know that you are privileged. You are privileged that you have internet access. You are privileged that you have a roof over your head, that you have a car you can drive, a bicycle you can ride. However it is that you get from A to B, enough money to survive. You are privileged. Right now, we might be thinking that the things that we own are not good enough. It's possible. On the other extreme, the other side of things is that you may not care at all about the things that you own right now. That right now your sole focus is on spiritual development and growth. Your sole focus is on nurturing yourself on a mental level, having more intellectual conversations with people. Again, fights that may happen between you and friends where you do not see eye to eye on certain topics, use that energy now to your advantage to have a more intellectual conversation, instead of saying, no, you're right, or sorry, no, you're wrong, I'm right, no, I disagree with what you're saying, and then you just bounce. No, I mean, if it's going to cause unnecessary drama, fine, leave. But if you see room for there to be an intellectual capacity to actually engage in a conversation that's going to leave you both thinking about philosophical things at the end of the night, why not? Use this time to grow yourself, or develop ideas that may have been brewing for a while, as opposed to actually implementing any new ideas. With this Page of Pentacles here, there is this, again, if you do it the right way, there is this energy, this influence that will go around where we are able to help each other reverse engineer ourselves, reverse engineer the way that we think, reverse engineer the way that we approach certain situations. It's a good time to do this. It's a good time to reassess again the things that matter to us on a material front versus the things that we may have taken for granted for a very long time. Books, concepts that need developing, artwork, using your hands. Get creative. Creative energy is high right now, and the Page of Pentacles is encouraging us to be a bit more creative with the things that we already own. So there's no need to go out there and buy yourself a fancy art set. Use what you have. You'll be surprised with what you can come up with. This Knight of Pentacles here is talking about spiritual forces that are actually quite lacking at the moment. And I don't want to expand too much on this point. It's just that right now, kind of like what I said about Jupiter, okay? Right now, like the planets always revolve. The earth is always revolving. Nothing ever stops. Everything is always in continuous motion. Your life does not stop for anything. But right now, we're being tested. We're being tested with our morals and our ethics. Right now, I'm not saying that there might not be any divine intervention. I'm not saying that God's taking a break or anything like that. But it's more like there are certain days where we have to own up to things. There are certain days where you can't just leave it be, leave it up to the forces at hand. No. Today is most certainly not one of those days. This weekend is not one of those weekends. You wanna double, triple check things and your thoughts. If you are successful, you will end up with this awesome outcome of a Nine of Pentacles here. Coming into power that you know, a new kind of power and a new kind of material wealth. The kind of material wealth that is not added up by more things that you buy, but the kind of material wealth that comes by realizing that you have enough, that you don't necessarily have to go out there shopping, that your home, your land, your books, your food, whatever it is that you currently own is more than enough. You will feel wealthy in your own way. Use the Page of Pentacles as well to be creative with reconstructing things in your life. This Nine of Pentacles will also lead to more creative ideas within the workplace. Working with what you have. Instead of tapping into a new budget, try to discover a way that you can work, you know, for free, or that you can create something out of nothing, basically. That is the collective reading, which is already quite long at 37 minutes. Okay, you guys. So, I'm going to shuffle briefly and draw one card each for the zodiac signs. We will start with Aries. Already, I'm getting... Cards don't pop out with this deck. They rarely do, I've come to realize. So I go with the cards that tilt on a particular angle. Not a particular angle, but one where it's like the card is like, pay attention to me. Aries. Oh! Hello, Aries. This is your own card, the Emperor here. Not much needs to be said about this other than right now, you are on fire. Right now, you are feeling like you are on top of things. But, again, I caution you with this Seven of... Because, again, I would like to follow the positions of the card here. With this Seven of Cups, that because you feel like you are on top of the world right now, you might feel like you can take on multiple projects at the same time. Aries is really good at organizing groups of people to do the work for them. You are natural born leaders. You are also initiators. And right now you have the capacity to initiate something very creative, something that can be very profitable on a material level right now. But I urge you to just think about this for a bit longer. Right now the energies they're in your favor. You're feeling like yourself. You're feeling like you can take on new projects, but sit and decide which is worth pursuing. You can't pursue all of them at the same time if you are dabbling with more than one idea. I'm going to bring this down now so that I can pay attention to the rest of the reading so that we don't end up, you know, spending the entire night here. Even though, yeah, they're more than welcome to. Okay. Taurus. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. What can we say about Taurus? Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Taurus. Oh, wow. Taurus, right now, again, kind of similar vibe as this Emperor here, is the World. Now, the World in this deck says that success will come after adversity. Success will come after you learn about the hardships that you may currently be facing, or hardships that are pertaining to, again, this past situation, which I cannot identify for you. You will have to identify yourself. If you can master this energy, this past situation that you walked on from, that you realize there is no reason for you to regret this, no reason for you to regret this, or feel guilty, if any of you feel guilty, then you can unlock the next phase of your life with this World card here. Ka-ching! Treat it as a game. You can one-up yourself. It's like having the chance to start from scratch. I hope you guys have been grounding yourselves. If you haven't taken a look at your monthly reading, I will post links to the monthly readings under this video as well. Have a look, because for Taurus, it's extra important right now in the month of January to ground yourself. And you will find that you are able to unlock this World here and have beautiful equilibrium. It has a lot to do with this Eight of Cups here, though. There are some karmic ties here that for some of you have been resolved. For others of you, you still need to work on this before you can move on to this World card. Okay. Gemini. Let's see what we have for Gemini. Come on, Gemini. What does Gemini need to listen to? Gemini. Oh my God. 10 of Swords. Kind of complements this 5 of Wands here. The differing in perceptions right now that are coming from all sorts of people that you have to deal with, and they may be different, you know, people that come from different backgrounds, cultures, religions, people that you clash with, can make you feel a little bit boxed in right now, Gemini. For Geminis, I'm going to say that now is not the best time for you to put yourself out there. It is that for you, it is definitely safer for you to stay put, to avoid these conflicts from escalating further. You will feel like you have swords preventing you from moving left, right, and center. The 10 of Swords here does not take on the same meaning as, you know, feeling betrayed and stabbed in the back. However, what it shares in common with the original meaning is that you've got nowhere to go when you are in this state whatsoever right now. It's probably for your good. If you want to avoid clashing with others right now. Because Gemini are very assertive people. As they stand, and right now with the extra boost we're getting, like that we feel like we can just do whatever the hell we want, that applies strongly. Okay, Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Ooh. I only want one card, Cancer. Cancer, interestingly, it's this one. I've got my eye on it. I've got my eye on it. I know exactly which one I'm gonna take for you. Seven of Swords. While you feel like your plan is top-notch, it's not right now. There are some loopholes that need examining. You might be able to get away with it. Some of you will be able to get away with it, kind of like this figure right here. However, for the rest of you, the cord that is binding both of these swords is going to rip, and I don't need to tell you what happens if it does. So just be extra careful right now for any plans that you have in the pipelines. Again, put it off or reevaluate, reassess, look through all the ABCs, make sure all your T's are crossed, because you might be missing something. You might be missing something, and if it's going to be fatal for someone, it's going to be you. And again, this Justice card here is not so friendly, not with everyone at least. Cancer, I'm going to say this, you might have a very devious air sign in your midst who is plotting something. That's all I'm going to say. Do what you will with that. Okay. Leo. Ah! No! Okay. I will salvage the cards. Okay. Leos. We're gonna be fine. Sometimes I like it when that happens, just because then we get some reversals. And I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. So, okay, Leo, sorry about that. Leos, Leo, it's staring me in the face. King of Pentacles. Yes, I've gone a little bit silent because this King of Pentacles, he knows his stuff. He is definitely, he's someone that you can heed advice from, for sure. And this King of Pentacles might be a little bit cocky right now. Or this King of Pentacles may not necessarily be working in your favor at this time. Even though usually you can trust their insights, usually this person does have a handle on things. This King of Pentacles might be saying that right now, trust your intuition, actually, okay? So the Page of Swords is someone who's rather intuitive and knows how they want their goals to come about. This King of Pentacles, though, might be a little bit, devious in your midst right now. This person is an authority figure and can easily overstep your word, easily. I would put things on hold at the time being because I don't like the feeling I got with this King of Pentacles here. I'm getting and I'm hearing sort of like this person's got their money in your pocket. So there's not much you can do if someone's kind of like frozen your balance, so to speak. So just be a little bit careful about this, because while you're busy thinking and contemplating about your ideas and how stellar they are and how badly you want to move forward with them, this person may be stopping things for you. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. How are my Virgoan friends doing? Nope. Virgo. Which will it be? Virgo. The thing I said about partners and someone being a little bit reckless, or someone feeling maybe someone acting a little bit too selfish right now, or the other partner interpreting their partner's behavior as selfish right now, perhaps applies to you more than other signs at the moment. You might be feeling like you've kind of been tossed out into the cold. This is not the Five of Pentacles here, no. But it's just the feeling that I'm getting. You might be feeling like you are not being included in some of your partner's plans, or that your partner is keeping things from you at this time. Keeping material possessions, or not being totally honest with you about your financial circumstances at the moment. They probably have their reasons for doing this. They probably feel a little bit guilty for going behind your back or keeping things on the down low at this time, Virgo. There is an opportunity for you to talk this through, though. Talk this out. I'm not saying there's no love there at all. I'm just simply saying that right now it might be a little bit tense. One of you may be a bit more selfish than the other at this time. Libra. Libra, 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 Libra. No. Wow. Libra. Okay, listen. Whatever it is that you toss out of the window, metaphorically speaking, whatever it is that you think does not carry a lot of weight in your life anymore, that is not very important anymore, that you don't value anymore. It can even be a person, okay? It can be a person, but whatever it is that you think is not freaking worth it, think again. Think again, because you will end up hurting yourself and this person in the process. Or like one of you is going to get hurt. Most probably you will get hurt, Libra. This is something that you'll end up regretting after you do, where you're just like, oh mon dieu. You're kind of like how this person, you know, has their hand up against their forehead. This is going to be you, like cursing the day you let go of this person, you know, because you had a random thought occur where you're just like, yeah, it's probably for the best. Sorry, gotta bounce. Bye. Yeah, no. Sorry if I'm being harsh, but it's an impulsive time. A few of us can be really impulsive at this time, and you might, you know, be making decisions a bit too quickly, and you might just end up making the wrong decision, and that decision can, you know, be about, you know, letting go of a person. So just, you know, take it easy, take a few deep breaths, and yeah, reconsider where your values lie in this relationship, if it involves a relationship. And for some of you, you know, this feeling of like, because this is being backstabbed. Usually it's the 10 of Swords, but here this person has 3 swords that stab them in the back and go right through their heart, because this person might not see it coming, Libra. And this might even be you, where you don't see it coming. You don't see this pain coming. But someone's going to get hurt, and it's going to come out of the blue, and it's going to come out of the blue because they're like, I thought I meant something to you. And this can be you saying that as well. I thought I meant something to you. What happened? Scorpio. Scorpios. What's going on, Scorpio? The 6 of Wands. Scorpio, if you take my advice of reverse engineering yourselves, or, you know, being extra creative right now at this time, because I feel like this energy can be quite beneficial for Scorpio, because again, it is encouraging us to go within and explore more esoteric disciplines, spiritual faiths, occult practices, everything strange and eccentric. And Scorpio, you're actually quite good at that. Anyway, naturally, it comes very easy for you. So at this time, your creativity is heightened for sure, and you can find yourself being rather victorious and successful with this 6 of Wands here. It's the kind of victory that a lot of people look up to you for, and you gain a lot of respect as a result of it, where people are, you know, they're pleasantly surprised by your creativity. They're pleasantly surprised by your ability also to be compassionate, and your ability to lead as well. Be an example for others around you at this time, Leo. Sorry. Wow, I don't know why I said Leo. I may have said Leo because this is also Wands, and Wands is fire. So there also may be someone in your midst, possibly a Leo, okay, who is going to be have a good influence on you. Because This is also falling in the sector of surrounding environment here. Oh yeah. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I have notes in front of me as well to remind me of where the planets have fallen right now. But this is also in the position of the 7th house, right? This Page of Pentacles is in the 7th house. The 7th house. I've lost you. No. And no, you're back. You're back. Okay. For some reason, okay, when I was looking at the chart, I'm not sure what sort of influence Vertex has when it's in Leo. However, I'm getting a very strong feeling, regardless of the houses right now, regardless of the positions of the planets, even though Leo is active here somehow. Perhaps an astrologer can let me know. You may have a good influence right now coming in from a Leo in your surroundings right now, Scorpio. Someone who can give you the extra push to get your ideas out there creatively, reverse engineer, break down your own resources and your own assets. Like there is no need for you to look beyond yourself to find a way to gain further enlightenment is what I'm getting for you guys. Leos. Sorry, Scorpio, not Leo. Scorpio. Yeesh. I need to calm down. Honestly, I need to calm down. Okay. So, after Leo, I can't believe I keep saying Leo. I just can't. But after Scorpio, we have Sagittarius. How you doing, Saggies? How are you doing? I hope everyone's wonderful. I don't know why I did that. Your card was kind of like there, staring me in the face, and I just pushed it back down into the deck. I'm sorry. Interesting. Okay, no. Sagittarius. I'm pretty sure, okay. This one is speaking to me. This one. This is it. Oh, King of Wands. Reversed, Sag. The King of Wands in this deck is someone who has quite a few followers. The King of Wands is someone whose authority is usually respected, and people are able to follow their law and order in this deck. Being in the reverse is telling me, and also as it is now, right now, falling down in the sector of spiritual influences, which if you tuned in earlier to the reading, and I hope you did for the general portion of this reading, which applies to all signs, Sagittarius, right now there is some sort of a decline when it comes to spiritual influences, where we are being observed and tested more than we are being guided. I'm not saying that you have no access to your guides or angels or your faith. I'm not saying that at all. However, what I'm saying is that right now there's so much chaos going on that we are more likely to mess up. We're more likely to make decisions that will harm us. So Sagittarius, if you were on a roll, if you felt like you were on a roll and that, you were starting to formulate like your own posse and you were finding your tribe, right now you might encounter some difficulties with these people. I don't want to say that they're turning on you. It's just a very temporary feeling, okay? Especially with Wands. Wands is a very quick energy. You are a very quick sign. And right now, whatever order you had going for you, and whoever it was that was, you know, fine and dandy being in your midst and following your rules and suggestion and advice, because you are very worldly people, it's very easy for people to gravitate towards you. You will find yourself perhaps being alone for a while, where this becomes a very self-imposed state, where you realize that you might even be off your game right now, and it's best for you to just sit tight and be with yourself and go into this introverted state before you decide to come out of your shell, is what I'm getting for you, Sagittarius. Okay, after Sag, Capricorn. Hi, Capricorn. Cappies. How's it going? The moon reversed. Capricorn, right now you are not willing to allow any external forces have a grasp on you. You think right now that you can defeat whatever mystic happenings are occurring, where you're just like, you know what? I'm hearing about like how this moon can be pretty deviant right now, and how this moon is having people do all sorts of funky things. I can beat it. And you have so much strength and power at the moment that, you know, you are successfully able to see through all the chaos and the bull, and to step away before it wreaks any further havoc on your lives right now. So you know particularly well to back away during this time, with the moon in reverse here. And again, okay, the moon in this deck also takes on a bit of a different meaning. This is not for me to suggest that all of a sudden we have the right to change the major arcanas and what they stand for. Not at all. The author of this deck has a grand respect for the traditional Rider-Waite, and his deck is modeled after the Rider-Waite, that's for sure. However, it is also modeled after his own personal circumstances and experience in life, having dedicated more than 30 years in the making of this deck, at least when it comes, you know, to on a mental plane. So in this deck, the moon, when it's in the upright, suggests that there are forces beyond your control that are influencing you, that, you know, it's kind of like the puppet master, where you're just like, whoa, I don't know, like, why I'm acting the way I'm acting right now. But with the moon being in reverse right now, and this is very significant because the full moon, it is a full moon right now, you are fully aware of the influence that it can have on you right now, and you're sharper than ever. You're very sharp, you're quick to respond, and you're quick to take on this 9 of Pentacles here. You're quick to be successful, you're quick to reinvent the wheel right now, where you may not even feel affected by any of this, where you're just like, I'm still on top of things, I'm cool, I'm cautious, I'm already cautious anyway, haven't you guys noticed? So I'm not gonna let something like this get in my way. Hell no. I've calculated my plans well in advance. I know exactly what's coming. I know how to anticipate for any dangers, anything that might be lurking around the corners. So as long as you keep that up, Capricorn, more power to you. More power to you. Now, we have come to Aquarius, and Pisces, depending on the messages I get for you guys, I may be drawing only one card or two because we are not following the order of things. So, Aquarius. Hi, Aquarius. If you've just tuned in, we are discussing the impact of the full moon. However, if you just tuned in, I'd like to say that everything that's happened so far, apart from the additional cards on top, is a general reading that applies to you and the rest of the zodiac. So I do encourage you to rewind and check that out if you want to make sense of what's to come next. You have the Two of Pentacles, Aquarius, right now, and it seems that there are two lucrative options that you may be faced with right now, and you are feeling confident enough to juggle between both these options in a way where you still feel like it's, you are able to do this. There's not too much of a heavy load. They are not so demanding. You can have both in your schedule, and it's all fine and dandy for now, Aquarius. So that's nice. You may be thinking that you are ready to take on an additional project as well. If you haven't already been considering taking on more, now is a very good time, to sit and think about what it is that you really, really want. And if you cannot choose, let's say, you've got multiple things in the pipeline. Let's say you have more than 3 or 4 ideas. Trust that you can take 2 of those ideas and turn them into a success. With this full moon, it's a good time to make a pros and cons list as well of what ideas you need to leave behind you and which 2 ideas you can move forward with. You have enough strength and energy to juggle between 2 things successfully at this time, and to do it with panache as well, to do it in a way where you're going to get recognized and people are going to be quite impressed by you. I'd like to clarify for Aquarius with the Rider-Waite. So what is this Two of Pentacles signifying for Aquarius? The reason why I'm clarifying for Aquarius using the Rider-Waite right now is just because we're dealing with a Two of Pentacles here, whereby a decision needs to be made. And we've had a bunch of cards pop out here. I am not going to listen to all. We've also had the Two of Pentacles again pop up here. Okay, Aquarius, we will look at all of these. Think about what it is that's going to make you or provide you with the biggest success here. The Nine of Pentacles again is up. And the Nine of Pentacles showed up here as an outcome card for pretty much everyone here, depending on how well thought out we think of things during this period. And it is best not to make any drastic decisions at this time. So think about the 2 ideal situations for you that will also be the most lucrative. We don't need to bring, and then you will be able to basically make do with this Two of Pentacles. You will be able to flip it. I mean, it will flip upside down where it no longer becomes an issue for you to choose. it is urging me as well, because of this King of Pentacles, okay, that's popped up here in the reverse, to look at your opposite influence, which in this reading happens to be the King of Pentacles. It's a bit of an interesting coincidence here. So, Aquarius, I'm going to urge you to look at, and how did we do this? Who was here? So, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, no, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Leos, Aquarius. I'm sorry, that took a while. Cards are all over the place here. Aquarius, whatever decision needs to be made, whatever it is that you need to kind of limit yourself to, might be involving Leo at this time. For some of you, it may help to see where Leo falls in your chart as well, if you have access to your chart, so do that. This is something that is divinely orchestrated with this Wheel of Fortune, but we want it in the upright. We don't want to interrupt its flow. We want it in the upright. Right now it is reversed. It's not going to be an easy decision to make. That's Aquarius. That took a while. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Pisces. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. I have my eye on your card. However, I didn't want to pick it prematurely. If it pops up again, no. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Pisces, this is your card. The Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay, when this came up, the first thing that popped into my head was, Pisces, you have carte blanche right now, which is anything goes. Pisces, during this full moon in Cancer, there is a lot happening actually in your sign. You have Pallas, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, Venus, Neptune, Mars, and Chiron in your sign. That is what some astrologers call a stellium, even more than a stellium, where you have 4 or more planets falling into your sign. Now, granted, not all of these are planets. We're talking about asteroids as well with Pallas and Chiron. However, Pisces, there's a lot going on for you right now. You have the benefit of Venus and Mars and, you know, the very mysterious Neptune in your sign right now. Anything goes. Carte blanche with this Ace of Cups. However, still urging you to, you know, make the best decision that you can right now. Double, triple check what it is that you need to check to make sure that you reap the benefits of this full moon, which has the capacity to tell you which direction you ought to spread your love towards. Like, there is so much happening for you right now that even the moon wants some of it with this card when it pops up here. However, I also caution you that with the influence of Neptune, okay, in your sign, it might be difficult to keep up with the good fortune. You're gonna have to, deal with a lot of paradoxes at this time as well. And so expect there to be some pretty unexpected reactions from those who may be around you right now, where you're just like, oh, I thought we were good. And they're like, no, we're not. Or, you may have thought that, like, you weren't so keen on someone and now you are all of a sudden. So, again, it's just it's a very tricky energy going on, and there's a lot happening for you, possibly even more than other signs at this time, Pisces. So everyone wants a bit of this Ace of Cups right now. Everyone wants a bit of this Ace of Cups, is what I'm being urged to say as well. Pisces. Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me. Holy shit. Sorry. I want to make sure that we're good with the laptop. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining me for this really special edition of the darker side of tarot with the Deviant Moon Tarot. I hope to be using this deck more often in the future as well, because it's absolutely stunning. I really, really love the artwork in this deck. It's really beautiful, and it really has the power to show us a lot more of the hidden influences in our subconscious, basically. It really brings things to the surface. Whereas the Rider-Waite, makes more superficial things known, things that are already information that you're already privy to, known. The Deviant Tarot, in my very short time that I've spent with this deck, has the ability to really wake you up in ways that you might not, you are on the precipice of being ready to, you're almost ready for it, and then it kind of just punches you in the face, where you're forced to listen. You're forced to listen, and the imagery is so striking. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. We are at 1 hour and 22 minutes. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be time-stamping. It's very, again, though, I hope that you enjoyed the first portion of this reading, which was a general reading for all signs, and that it helped you gain more perspective of this full moon's influence on us. I want to wish you a very happy rest of January, and if you haven't checked out your monthly readings for January, please do, and let me know what you think of those, and let me know what you think of this video if you want. So all the best to all my beautiful people out there. I love you all. Bye.